Let's take you to this now. The nominations for the much-anticipated Basadi Music Awards 2024 are officially opened. The public has until the 19th of this month to nominate their preferred women entertainers in a number of categories, ranging from singers and rappers to skilled DJs, composers, producers, and the creative minds behind the scenes. For more on this, I'm now joined by Hloni Modise-Motau, CEO of Basadi in Music Awards. Hloni, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for speaking to us on News at Prime. Can you share more about the inspiration behind this year's theme?
Thank you so much for having me. Firstly, we're attending 3 this year, which is a big deal for us. So we chose the theme reflection because for BIMA, we're going to be reflecting on, the 3 years that we've had. It hasn't been an easy road, but with the team, we did the best to get us to where we are today. So we said the theme should be reflection, get in a mirror, our reflection for this year. So it's going to be all things glamour and just us reflecting on the journey that we've had thus far.
Now, BIMA has been a platform celebrating women's talent in the music industry. How has this event evolved over the last 3 years?
I think, we've had to spice things up a bit. And I think we did that by introducing the African countries to participate in the awards, which is something that we never had. So last year, we started by celebrating 5 ladies from different parts of Africa to say we are opening up the stage to the whole African continent. And I'm very proud to say that this is the year where we are actually going to incorporate the entire Africa. And we're going to be making that announcement, I think, in the next 2 weeks or so. So that is how we've evolved in the past 3 years. So we are growing bit by bit, which is exciting for us because we've wanted to create a platform that goes beyond the South African borders to create opportunities for musicians and practitioners within the industry in its entirety.
Okay, so we talk about musicians, and that's pretty clear what they do. But there are also other categories of entertainers, those that aren't necessarily singing. What are some of those categories?
So, I'm someone I've worked in the industry for a longest of time, and I know what it's like for people to work behind the scenes and not get the recognition that they deserve. So I call this the X Factor of Basadi Music Awards, where we don't just honor musicians per se, but we honor even the ladies that work behind the scenes to, end up giving us the musicians that we see. So we've got your stylist of the year, we've got producers of the year, we've got radio presenters, we've got journalist of the year. These are ladies that contribute a lot into, the careers of the females that we see today. So we felt there isn't any other platform that celebrates these queens, and this should be a platform that does that for the queens, and it's going great so far.
So, Hloni, how do you separate talented women or talented individuals from individuals that are just popular? Because if it's about voting, then invariably it's going to be, how does this particular woman engage her audience or all the people that she knows, but does not necessarily say that she's more brilliant than the next person?
So we wanted it to be an award ceremony that's different from the others, to make it a People's Choice Award. So from the selection process, we get the public to start nominating their favorites from the onset. So it does eventually become a popularity contest, but it also heavily depended on, who puts out the best campaign out there. And the reason why we wanted to do that is, it's not just going to be creating space for just the popular individuals, but to create space for even the people that are upcoming in the industry that say, hey, we've got space, and, they push strong campaigns, and we get to eventually getting to the winner, who is the person the individual that's going to get the most voted for. That's going to be the most voted for.
Hloni, let's talk about some of the challenges that you face. I mean, you've been doing this for the last 3 years. I'd imagine what happens with awards is that those that have awards that are similar or slightly different are potentially not your biggest fans.
I think with awards, you will always get that, right? Because you can't always make everybody happy. But it's our 3rd year, and it's been good so far, and I hope it's going to continue being good. Some of the challenges that we faced, when we started in 2022, one of the things I was told a lot was that the industry is not ready for an award ceremony like this, right? And that South Africa is not ready for an award ceremony like this. That is just women only celebrating awards. And obviously that would then impact a lot of things where you'd, struggle a bit when it comes to things like sponsors and just support when you started. I always say this to the people that say, oh, we want to be you, we want to be you. And I just tell them the journey of how we got to where we are, to say, when we started, everybody was like, start. And then once you guys start and we see that the concept works, we will then support. So you start, and then second year, it's like, okay, just invite us, then we'll come. And then, third year, you're still knocking on doors to say, people, can you guys still endorse the idea? Because, it is like a unique platform that celebrates females in a space. So that is still something that we're still trying to navigate in terms of acceptance. And, but other than that, I think we face the normal challenges that any other award ceremonies faces. And it's quite exciting in a back end. It really is.
Hloni, I'm curious to know who's voting by gender. Do you have those numbers? I mean, we voted for women. Is it us boys, or is it the girls that are voting?
No, it's the girls. It's the girls that vote. It's predominantly the black girls that vote. So what we're hoping to do to achieve this year is like, to diversify and get more than just black votes and more than just the females, but it's the big vote is predominantly the females. So I think we're growing and we're diversifying bit by bit, because when we looked at the data, it was encouraging to see that, okay, there is some bit of difference in terms of where we come from the past 2 years. So the boys are coming through in terms of supporting. They are there, I don't want to lie. When it's event time, they are there showing up in numbers to come and support the queens. And I think that's really, really inspirational, because we've always said that Basadi Music Awards is not an anti-men platform, but it's just a platform for ladies. And we really also appreciate and recognize the guys that have, stood by us to get to where we are. And we say, come and celebrate with us. So yeah, it's not a chick-only game.
Well, something that you're doing for the very first time now is that you will be offering weekly prizes for voting participants. Do you expect this to increase those numbers?
I think, yeah, because, I think the reason why we wanted to take this approach is, we feel that people take the time and their money to participate in the process. So we also just need, as an organization, to be able to say thank you to the fans in one way or the other. So yes, the goal is, one, to increase the votes, and number two, just to say thank you to the fans for being supportive. I think we open up our nominations earlier on this month, and I think we are sitting on about 5,000, if not 6,000 nominations thus far. And we just want to say thank you, because it's the people that are sitting there and taking their time to vote.
So let's talk about the rest of the continent. That's a new aspect that you introduced. I think you said last year, which was year 2. Just how much do you think is going to contribute to the success of BEMA? Because now you go from 60 million South Africans who potentially could vote, or a country like South Africa, 60 million people, to the entire continent. And you all of a sudden those numbers multiply significantly.
Yeah. Look, someone asked me what's the 5-year goal of Basadi Music Awards, and I said, for me, it's to see a poster, right, that has a Boity, a Cardi B, and that's the goal, for us to get to that level in 5 years' time. Basadi Music Awards, the point is to create a platform where we get other artists to come and celebrate music in our platform. That's number one, right? So it hasn't been an easy transition, but it's getting there. Last year it was well received. I mean, we got to honor Mom Angelique Kidjo, which was such an honor for us when she accepted to receive our Lifetime Achievement recipient. And we, like I said, that we honored the 5 ladies from Botswana, Zimbabwe, Ghana, and Nigeria, and just to say thank you for for paving the way. And now we're saying, let's open up the fields, let's all play. So we're finalizing a system that's going to be able to allow everybody else from the different parts of Africa to be able to vote. And that's a big milestone for us, because at first it looked like it's something that can't be done But with the team that that I have, we're able to put something together that's going to enable the rest of Africa to play. And for me, that's important because it opens up the platform for our musicians to be able to compete with other peers from different African countries. And that also opens up a channel where we can create exchange programs. So it's beyond just the awards ceremony night itself, but to create, exchange programs where we can get artists and practitioners from in the music industry coming from Ghana, coming to South Africa going to Nigeria, etc. So that is one of the biggest goals that we are hoping to achieve by the end of this year.
One of my biggest questions is how are men involved? And I ask about men because in many instances, so if you're learning to be a DJ, for instance, right?
Yeah.
The number of women that you have on the decks are limited, right? But you have a lot more men, so potentially that can teach the women. So if you look at producers, or if you look at those that are behind the scenes, many of those that have gone ahead of women are men. Is there any engagement with the men to assist, to teach, for the women to learn from in some areas where you may not have women present, particularly if it's about your actual locale, for instance?
Let's start with me. So I've worked with many awards ceremonies. I'll use the summers as one of my biggest milestones, and I've been mentored by a man and the CEO of the summers, and Basadi, who CEO of Risa, in fact, who has been very instrumental in terms of educating me about how the awards ceremony space works and stuff like that. So we do consult with guys here and there, but when we did do our research, and with the past 2 years, we've been privileged enough to be able to have different nominees in have 5 candidates in each category to say that there is space there. So if we do need to consult, we do consult with guys. I mean, some of the team members, in as much as the team is predominantly female, we still do have some male counterparts in the team. So we do have some support from males. We do.
So what's your favorite category?
I think the CEO Basadi in business is my favorite, and that award basically celebrates a musician practitioner in a space that goes beyond the call of duty, that has different businesses, and has been making a mark in the music industry outside of just singing or being a DJ per se. And I think for me, it's just to show how women can do a lot of things at the same time and still get it right, and just to open up that thing to say you can still be a successful musician or someone in the music industry, but still have other businesses that are running and still be a powerhouse that women look up to. So that is one of my favorites, because we get to acknowledge a woman like that, and the idea behind it is basically that woman is setting an example for all of us. I think this year we're going to have Trailblazer of the Year. The last time we had Trailblazer of the Year was 2022, where we honored Newzroom Afrika. And this year's Trailblazer is going to be someone that inspires me very much, that I can't announce now. But this female has done a lot in the music space, and I really am looking forward to announcing her and hoping that she's going to inspire a lot of her peers.
Very, very quickly, Hloni, those that would like to vote, how do they do that?
So you can go onto our social media space to look at the different categories that we have. So we've got over 22 voted for categories, so it's more than enough. And then you choose your category, you SMS your category code and your nominee, SMS to the number 49960, and you can nominate as many times as you want. We will be announcing the final 5 nominees in June. Look out to our social media spaces in terms of when the nominees announcements are going to be happening. Basadi
in Music Awards now in full swing. Hloni Modise-Motau, CEO, thank you so much for speaking to us